Okay, so it's been a long time since I've done one of these, but here it goes. People need to understand that Black Lives Matter is not about rights for black people. This is a George Soros funded organization, like other organization he funds, to destabilize and in the bigger picture bring down the United States. Okay? As Americans and as Christians, we cannot afford to be naive and ignorant about how things work. I mean, George Soros, just so you know, poured 34 million bucks into the Ferguson fiasco last year, the year before, whatever it was. All those riots, all that stuff, he poured $34 million into that to help create chaos, destabilize things, so on and so on. Soros is a Jew who sold out his own people. I mean, I'm pro-Jewish, pro-Israel, okay, but this guy was a traitor to his own race. He's actually, I think he's Hungarian, but by nationality, but he's Jewish. In World War II, he was a black-shirt frickin' Nazi that sold out his own people. He's the guy that's funding a lot of this stuff. He is a literal, well, to quote somebody else, he's a James Bond villain, okay? That's literally what this guy is. And his money is going into this. His money is going into Black Lives Matter. I mean, tragically in this country, African Americans have had a history of having to put up with a lot of injustice and a lot of crap. So for them to react out of their emotions or anger and frustration, I probably would too. Because there are things that are going on where they've been shafted. But Black Lives Matter is not about that. Black Lives Matter, even the very name is misleading because Soros doesn't care about black lives, okay? Nobody talks about, the fact that there are, all the black babies that are being aborted right now. And I mean, millions of people, blacks are being aborted. No one talks about that genocide. You don't hear about that. You don't hear about other forms of injustice. You only hear about the forms of injustice that the establishment and the media want to promote. It's like guns. Guns get demonized. Guns are bad. Guns are this. Guns are that. Well, they don't tell you thousands of crimes a year are stopped because of people who have concealed carry permits. Thousands of crimes are stopped, are preempted, don't make the news, except maybe locally. Because an upstanding citizen with a firearm was able to step in and prevent something from turning into a massacre, okay? And what the media wants to do, what the establishment powers want to do, is the model of divide and conquer. That's how the British conquered India. It's the British model of divide and conquer, where you pit groups against each other and you come in as the victor. I mean, it's about pitting blacks against whites, men against women, conservatives against liberals, rich against poor, anywhere there is a divide that they can exploit. And in the end game, it isn't just about creating division. The division is being created for a purpose, for an end game. Okay? That's what is the reason we have racial problems or conflict between, civilians and police and these different things going on. There are real problems. There are real conflicts, but these are tributaries. The fact that our borders are collapsing, that is a tributary that feeds into something larger. Black Lives Matter, tributary that feeds into something much larger. Our economic problems, something that feeds into something much larger. The end game, and this has been quoted in by all kinds of world leaders, economic leaders, educational leaders. So don't sit there and snicker at this when I say this, because the end game is world government. Christians stand in the way of that. America stands in the way of that. Why do you think they hate veterans? Why do you think they hate Christians? Why do you think they hate conservatives? Why is it that pro-lifers will never in a million years get a fair shake in the media? Because these are the kinds of people that will stand for America, will stand for our Constitution, and not go along with licking the boots of the UN or seceding our sovereignty and our freedom and our rights to some sort of foreign entity. No. I mean, why do you think the British voted to get out of the EU? I mean, they knew it was a bad deal. There was fortunately just enough people to realize that was a bad deal. That was their British independence. That was, it was like Hitler's Operation Sea Lion fails again. Thank God. I mean, if they wanted to stay in the EU, why not? They should just let Hitler win World War II. I'm kind of rambling here a bit now. But coming back to the Black Lives Matter thing, this is meant to create racial division, riots, and potentially even a civil war, where it isn't North against South, it's just everybody against everybody from coast to coast. We don't want that. As good citizens and as Christians, we need to pray against racial division. We need to pray for our authorities, pray for the police. I mean, yeah, there's police corruption and it's bad in some places. There's things that are happening that are bad. There's things that I see that just make my blood boil, and I can't watch the video because I'll go through the roof and I'll throw my laptop across the room because it infuriates me. I know that stuff goes on, but we can't give in to the anger. We can't give in to the rage. We have to respond by embracing the Lord and praying for healing between blacks and whites, healing between civilians and law enforcement. The vast majority of law enforcement people are waking up to what's going on. They know. They're more awake than the general public is because they face this stuff. Same with the military. And, don't give in to the anger. Don't play into the politics. Don't let the mainstream media dictate to you don't let them tell you what your opinion is or what the narrative is. Just because they're focusing on something doesn't mean that that's what you're supposed to be focusing on. Okay? Don't let them set the narrative. The narrative is not, oh, we're blacks against whites. No, that's what they want to exacerbate. We're not going down that path. I really admire the people of Charleston, South Carolina. When that shooter last year went to that church and shot those people, their community came together and they didn't allow that. I was a little surprised, but I was very relieved to see a real show of strength and unity in Charleston, South Carolina after that shooting took place. There weren't any riots there. No other Charleston police got shot there. Okay, none of that kind of stuff happened there. So I was very thankful for that. A lot of Christians down there, and so we have to respond the right way when these things happen. We can't. If we go eye for an eye, man, it's going to be a long day. All right? I believe in the right to self-defense. I believe in the Second Amendment. But people cannot give in to the rage. Do not give in to the rage. Give in to prayer. Give in to intercession. Give in to love for the country. You see police brutality on YouTube. Pray for the police. The bad guys will get the news all day long. The good cops, you'll never hear about them. I know some good police, amazing, wonderful people, some of the best people I know. They're not on the news, okay? So, okay, I'm gonna wrap this up now. I'm not going too long here, but pray against division for this country. Get informed, know what's going on, don't be naive. Jesus talks about that in the Gospels. It's no benefit to you to not be shrewd and not know what's going on, okay? So just pray against the division. Pray against any and all forms of division in this country, and pray that we are united under the Lord's banner, not the enemy's. All right, I've said enough, so I hope this helps. Thanks. Bye.